Come on, don't prove John Jones right. Yes! Still runs. Watch this. I got it. I got it going on. How are you doing today? I'm doing amazing. Back in the old beater car. My wife's taking the van somewhere tonight. Had a really great day. Gonna go do some really hard work. Supposed to be 2 like giant trucks tonight. I'll probably end up throwing the freight for at least one of them. It's awesome. Looks like I'm gonna run out of gas. Not awesome. I can make it. I can make it to work and not run out of gas. One day I will have the money to not be sitting here like looking at my gas needle on E. Like I'll just be able to be like, hey, it's down around, you know, that yellow section where it's kind of empty, I'll fill it up. Instead of like, can I make it to work and back? I think I can. I get paid tomorrow, I get paid tonight. Okay, great. So, if I make it to work today, I get paid tonight, like at midnight or 3 o'clock or whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is then I'll for sure be able to buy gas. Math comes in way more handy when you have no money. Like arithmetic math, not like, you know, quadratic equation math. That's still useless. Why did they teach us that stuff? Why did it matter? Like you're sitting in math class, right? And you're like, well, teacher, why do we have to learn all this stuff? And they're like, it'll be useful later in your life. You'll understand. Like, it wasn't useful. Not even one little bit. Has 90% of my high school math education been useful? Like, I have basic, like, I mean, you could make an argument for trigonometry in the real world. In the real normal world. But here's the thing, like, even with that, like, how difficult is it really to figure out how trigonometry works on a basic level? Like, let's say you do the flagpole experiment, you know, it casts a shadow a certain length, you know the angle or whatnot. You want to find out how tall the flagpole is. Google it! You Google how to figure that problem out and you'll have it in like 10 seconds. You don't need to sit in math class for an entire semester packing your brain full of stuff you might not need. Give people a smartphone. Yeah, I've just reformed the education system. Just give everybody who doesn't have one a smartphone. Like a crappy Android phone. It doesn't have to be like an iPod or anything. Although that's pretty genius, like Apple people putting iPads in all the schools. So like giving them a discount, like, we'll get them hooked now. And then later they'll have to have it. They're smart. They're smart, those Apple guys. Like, you can hate on them all you want. You can talk about how their product is overpriced and like complain about just whatever you want, but clearly they know what they're doing. Google's not too dumb either. Anyway, I'm feeling good. We'll see if I have this much energy on the flip side. Boom! I made it! Through the magic of editing and you not having to live through that 9 hours of my life in between, there was no drama for you. I totally did not run out of gas. Would have made for a better vlog if I had. I feel. Like excitement and drama happening, like could have maybe seen the outside of the car as I went to pump the gas or walked to get the gas or something, but no. Boring day. Long day. I mean, it had all the same amount of hours in it as the other days do, but they all like piled up the wrong way. It took too long to get stuff done that shouldn't have taken that long to get done. Well, given this rant about being screwed over by other people doing their job wrong already. I also started watching a movie for the podcast today. We had our Listener's Choice Month on the Human Echoes podcast. And basically it's an opportunity for the people to torture us with the worst movies they can think of. And so, movie number 1, which we covered last week, was Hairspray, which was Tony's nightmare. And I remember liking Hairspray more than I did. I didn't hate it or anything the second time around, but it's interesting to me that I think that a lot of Broadway musicals do really well as a live performance because the spectacle is on a different level. Like, if you see people dancing and singing on a live stage, that's impressive in a way that it really isn't in a movie. Like, in a movie, you know, they have as many takes as they want to get that dance move right. So, like, anyway, so Hairspray I felt was not as good as it, like, I remembered enjoying it more. The songs just didn't, I guess they didn't do it for me. Like, the songs were not as much fun as I remembered them being from like years back when I saw it the first and second and third times. I've seen Hairspray quite a few times. This is the second one, the new one, you know. But the second week of Viewer's Choice Month, we have been afflicted with a movie called Glenn or Glenda, which was directed, by the way, Tony Southcott, if you're watching this video, you're not allowed to watch anymore, alright? You're supposed to go into this blind. You have not watched this movie yet. I know you haven't, because you wait until the night before, because you... Anyway, he'll stay up till like 2 o'clock in the morning watching a terrible movie, and then do the podcast 9 o'clock in the morning the following morning. I don't know why. You have all the nights in the... You could watch it in segments. You could watch it like some one night and some the next night, but no. Anyway, so don't watch what I'm going to say about Glenn or Glenda. I haven't finished watching it yet either. I watched like some of it on my lunch break today. And a movie about a transvestite in 1950 directed by Ed Wood. I mean, what else? First of all, I don't know if it's like exactly 1950s, but in the 1950s era, right? Like Mad Men era, you have a movie come out, I assume in theaters because that's the only place it could come out, right? Like they didn't have, it wasn't, I don't think that there were, well, there were TV movies back then, but still, like, this seems like it came out in some theater somewhere. Ed Wood, if you don't know, arguably the worst director of films of all time. I mean, I can't think of anybody worse. Like, people talk about today about Uwe Boll and, you know, other directors, but Ed Wood was just abominable. I mean, he was, like, the dude who directed Mega Piranha is a better director than Ed Wood. Not even lying. He totally is. I hate Mega Piranha. I wanted to like it. Like, it's got Tiffany in it. It's got giant piranhas. But anyway, so it's this, like, incredibly forward thinking, maybe not forward thinking is the wrong word, but it's dealing with transvestitism not in a like a negative light. Like, it's very apologist in its tone. Like, transvestites, they're not all like weird and evil, and, you know, people used to say weird things about the automobile and the airplane, and now we've you know, we can modify our environment and make those things. We should be able to modify our genitals and stuff and become men or women too. Like, in the 1950s, it's super revolutionary, right? To have that kind of a, like, regardless of what your stance is on that particular position, like, to have anybody talking about that in the 1950s is like, it blows your mind. And then it's Ed Wood. And it's like, it's the weirdest thing. Because you kind of want to say, you know, you got balls, dude, even though maybe you don't want them. But you've got them talking about this issue that is clearly near and dear to your heart. About being able to dress like a woman without being persecuted. Good lemonade. Awesome lemonade. The Walmart Marketplace lemonade, brought to you by Walmart Marketplace Lemonade. Buy some. Tastes great. Looks like pee in this jug, but it's got like 15% actual lemonade in it, which is a good percentage. Like, back in the day when you had High C at your high school, maybe it wasn't High C, but whatever it is, they'd have like those juice things in a bottle, and it would be 2% or 1% juice. And you'd look at it and you would think, why did they bother? What was there must be some like marketing thing where if you have some level of juice in it, you can say it's healthy, and it really isn't. I don't know. Anyway, Ed Wood, super weird movie. I haven't finished watching it yet, so I don't even know. It make it even weirder. But it's an experience. It's cool watching. The other interesting thing is Bela Lugosi's in this movie. I'm not 100% sure he knew what kind of a movie he was in, because all of his lines are like this weird sort of godlike narrator, and they never specifically have anything to do with the plot. Like, they've got some other narrator talking about, like, dudes dressing up like women. He has this really ambiguous stuff about fate and rolling the die and pull the string! Pull the string! I just loving the idea that he had no idea. Like, Ed Wood just came in with a script and he's like, alright, Bela Lugosi, super old-fashioned, clearly not gonna be cool with being in a movie about how awesome transvestites are. I still want him to be in my movie because I'm a huge Bela Lugosi fanboy because I'm Ed Wood. Watch the Ed Wood movie, by the way, that Tim Burton directed. Best Tim Burton movie ever. Of all of them. Maybe Big Fish, but Ed Wood's really good. Anyway, y'all need to watch this movie. It's up there and or down there with like the worst movies of all time. Ed Wood has most of them. Dude was a genius. A mad, terrible, awful genius. I'm out.